Bahar, Puchong, a 32-year-old woman was found dead inside a Produa Kelisa by several passersby at Jalan Bandar 3 yesterday. Serdang District Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Ismadi Borhan said police received a report of the green discovery at about 4 p.m. The victim's body was found by members of the public, who immediately notified the police of their discovery. Initial investigation showed that the victim may have died while sleeping inside the Produa Kelisa. The body was found lying flat on the driver's car seat. The car's engine was switched off and the driver's side window was open slightly, he said when contacted yesterday. Ismadi said police believe the woman may have died as early as Friday. He said preliminary investigations also found that the victim had visited a nearby clinic on Friday morning. The doctor at the clinic said the victim's temperature was over 39 degrees Celsius. The doctor also told the woman to seek treatment at a nearby hospital. Ismadi said police did not receive a missing person report in the past 3 days. We have contacted the victim's family members and the body has been sent to Serdang Hospital for postmortem. Police combed the scene and did not find any signs of foul play. The case has been classified as sudden death, he said.
The UN has called for calm after several Rohingya Muslims were shot and wounded in a Rakhine state camp in a raid linked to the failed escape of more than 100 of the stateless minority from the failed settlements. Some 120,000 Rohingya were languished in displacement camps near Rakhine's capital Sindri in 2012. Their movement, access to healthcare, work and education is severely restricted in conditions decried as amounting to apartheid by Amnesty International. Rohingya refugees who fled a military crackdown to Bangladesh refused to return to Rakhine without equal rights, citizenship and safety. Villagers told the AFP that 4 Rohingya were shot and wounded as Myanmar police entered the camp in central Rakhine State's Pautau Township Sunday morning. One witness said that the officers were trying to arrest the Rohingya suspect of links with a boat carrying 106,100 Rohingya that was found last week off the coast of Myanmar's biggest city, Yangon. The group who told reporters they were trying to reach Malaysia were taken back to the Rohingya by Myanmar's Navy. The 720,000 Rohingya living in crowded camps in Bangladesh were last week supposed to begin the complex and controversial process of returning to Myanmar. But they did not leave Bangladesh after an outcry that conditions in northern Rakhine were still dangerous. The UN says Myanmar's general should be prosecuted for genocide in connection with army campaign that exploited the Rohingya. Myanmar has denied almost all claims of abuse and said it was defending itself against Rohingya militants who attacked police posts. That's all the international news from me.
Assalamualaikum and good morning. Zain Malik has revealed he no longer identified as Muslim in a brand new interview. The former One Direction star confirmed the news to British Watch, stating he does not believe in any of the religion doctrines. He believes whatever people religions believe are between them and whoever or whatever they are practicing. Malik went on to say he no longer carries out religion practices, including daily prayer. In the interview, Malik, who was raised by Muslim parents in West Yorkshire, expressed hesitancy at discussing his faith. Malik added he just wants to keep it between himself and whatever he believes, and he feels like that makes him move through life in a nice way. His comments prompted some abuse from fans on Twitter, with others were more accepting of the singer's choice. "You should be ashamed," one Twitter user wrote, while another praised the interview, but still criticized Malik for mocking Muslim practices. Another expressed disappointment in the comment as they believe Malik's belief had once helped change some people's idea about Islam.
Assalamualaikum. Recently, a Facebook username Eddie Rajan became an overnight sensation after he uploaded a video of himself confronting a beer promoter who was stationed at Giant Supermarket, Ampang Point. Within hours, the video spread like wildfire online, and Eddie received flack from almost everyone on the internet for harassing the girl who was just doing her job. The pressure was so much that he even had to change his username Facebook from Eddie Rajan to Eddie. That's because netizens have come through his Facebook account and tried to gather as much information about him as possible. Sadly, his cute little daughter became a collateral damage of this incident, as netizens were seen uploading pictures of him hugging his daughter with her uncensored face. Responding to this, Deputy Education Minister Teo Ng Ching has now stepped out and urged Malaysians to stop sharing pictures of Eddie's daughter and also details about the school she's studying at. She said, "School is the place for all children. We will not allow any kid to be discriminated or bullied at school. Let's end hatred in society, and please do not bring this in school." What Eddie Rajan did was totally uncalled for, and the promoter didn't deserve that. So let's learn from the girl and do not repeat Eddie's mistake, she wrote. Besides his family pictures, netizens also found out that Eddie is working at a private company named Rah Properties Corporation. Some cheeky netizens even attached the phone number of the company in case anyone who wants to speak with Eddie's superior. Well, this goes to show that social media is a force to be reckoned with, and hopefully this incident can serve as a lesson for everyone that racism has no place in our beloved Malaysia.
Striker Nusharul Islam Talha hopes Malaysia will get to the AFF Suzuki Cup final and meet again the team that beat them, Vietnam. The veteran found it hard to accept the manner of their 2-0 defeat to Vietnam at 40,000, packaged Maidin's National Stadium in Hanoi on Friday. Nosharo and his men had dominated the match with their position football, but it was the Vietnamese who get 2 goals from counter-attacks. It led to Malaysia suffering their first loss in Group A in the AFF Cup after 2 wins early against Cambodia 1-0 and Laos 3-1. Harimau Malaya can still reach the semi-finals if they defeat Myanmar in their final group match at the National Stadium in Bukit Jalil on Saturday. On Friday, Nosharo was tightly marked by the Vietnamese after he was singled out as Malaysia's most dangerous player, having scored a brace against Laos and once against Cambodia. The 32-year-old Pahang forward said, "Looking back on the match, we actually played well. All our players were 100% committed. It's just that our opponent's style of play allowed them to create two changes that they managed to capitalize on. I hope we can take on Vietnam once more, as I'm just not satisfied with the game. We want to collect 3 points against our next opponent Myanmar, God willing. If we want advance to the final and meet Vietnam once more, we will definitely play a much better game." Nosharo, who helped Malaysia emerge as AFF Cup champions back in 2010, is confident that they will be able to overcome Myanmar in their final group match. "I'm optimistic that we will be able to beat Myanmar. Based on current form, I am confident that we can win.